and welcome back to another episode of Raising Parents, the Parenting Science Labs. So over the last few weeks, you saw me try to manage my social media use and also try to manage other ways to spend my time rather than spending it on my phone. Throughout that time, I've sort of come to the realization that it is nearly impossible for me in mid-20s to be able to not be on my phone. I've tried different apps that have locked my phone or stopped me from using it, or tried different fun little games that sort of lock it during a certain time. Some of these have been okay. Some of them I was able to crack open and use my phone anyway. I do understand that the whole idea of doing this practice is to try to better myself and also see how parents can minimize their child's use on digital devices. So that being said, there are a few apps that I have found out there that look into the different ways of how to control your use. For example, on Mac, I've seen that they have the usage meter on. So it's easy to see how much you've been using, how much digital time you've been using, and I'm not going to go and show mine because mine is insane. I know that there are plenty of other places, ways that you can do it. However, after looking at how much screen time I've been using and sort of looking at the data that's on there, I've tried to minimize it each time, so it's slowly getting better over the last few weeks, while also showing you different things that you can do and different things that I have chosen to do to spend with my time other than being on my phone. So it has turned out pretty good. I think I've gotten a little bit better except the last few days. I'll show my little screen time usage on the screen. And, apart from doing other things, I've also been, apart from showing you what I've been doing and all the stuff that I've showed you, I've also tried to read a little bit more or spend time with family. As you can see if you want to see on my other channel, I've been just hanging out with family and spending quality time with them. So if you want to check those vlogs, go and check them out for sure. But yeah, screen time, it's hard to manage screen time as a mid-20-year-old when you're constantly knowing about it, when that is your main communication with friends. As a teenager, I didn't have a phone. I actually did not have a phone at all until I was probably around 18, 19, and that was when I needed it for going to uni, going to classes, and just letting them know that I'm okay. However, that's hard to occur in this day and age when pretty much everyone has a phone now, and I think the best that you can do is looking at the screen usage or using the parental lockage to lock certain times or lock certain apps. I think you can do as well. So yeah, I think that's the best way that I've understood it as to how you can limit your child's screen time. After listening over again as to what Athena Soraya said about screen time, I don't really see how it can be beneficial. Honestly, some parents might find it working. I grew up, knowing that, okay, this is the time that you're not meant to be, when you're having dinner and when you're about to go to bed, and then bedtime was a certain time, and that was pretty much how it was. We weren't using the internet so much for homework and assignments and things like that. It's very different now, where you're using it for pretty much anything. And you're doing group assignments, and sometimes you need to talk to your friends, like group assignments for online. And I think more importantly, that the apps that they use are very, very crucial. There are so many apps out there where it benefits you in no way. In terms of how parents model children and how much of an influence parents have. I think the way that Athena Soraya said on our episode is to limit the amount of time you're using your phone, and it role models as to how much time the child uses their phone. And it plays out really well. I mean, when I see other people, like either my family or my friends on their phone, I have the urge to be on it as well. Or if I see them watching a video on their own devices, I have a thought to go, okay, I'll go watch something else because there's no communication going. So, but when there is communication and they are fully intent on watching something, I try to not be on it, especially the last week when my dad has been on holidays and he's been around a little bit more. We've just been watching a movie, watching back-to-back films, doing a marathon, and we've all been sort of attentive to that, and it has worked out really well. So it's very dependent on if other people are using their phones, then you're inclined to use it as well. When other people aren't, then you just want to be part of the conversation too. So I think it's very dependent on that, and I think it's a good thing to look at how much usage you use and then how much you can do better yourself, and then that will definitely determine how your child improves. So yeah, I hope that is a little bit more useful, and I hope that you're able to see a little bit more into that, because I think it's really good to look at how much usage you have, especially on Macs and iPhones, and you can see the amount of screen time that you've been using over the last month or year. And it's really good, especially coming into the new year, to try to make goals to be better than that each time. I know for a lot of us, including me, work is very dependent on technology. So I think trying to find some time outside of that where you're just not on it at all, and finding a time to limit how much interaction you give to your devices. So yeah, I'll have the little screenshots of little apps or my screen usage as well. It's not going to be the greatest because, like I said, I use my laptop to go to sleep some nights, so I just fall asleep to watching a video. And yeah, we'll definitely have a look at the different ways. Definitely go check out little apps that you can use when it comes to digital use and limiting it. There are some really cool game apps that sort of limit it as well that I found, and I'll share those around. So yeah, I hope that helps everyone, and I hope that you get to look at your own use and try to limit it yourself. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next week. And soon we'll be having new guests for the podcast. I'm so excited for coming into the new year. And yeah, Happy New Year to you guys if I don't talk to you before then. All right, bye.
So if you guys can see my screen, you can see that I have a lot of stuff that aren't really in places, and a lot of things from last year that I really don't need anymore. For example, screenshots of lessons or data that I needed to have saved for projects, for example, but I'm not really needing them anytime now. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete them, go through them, and just see what I need and what I don't. There are also a few videos from like uni assessments and some photos that I really do want to keep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and create a folder for some of last year's little assignments and things that I think that I would need again. And as you can see, there are some that I would really like to keep. Some images from last year that I really love and I really love having with me. So I'm going to go put those in some folders as well. I don't need everything because I think some of these are just more screenshots that I've taken, more things that I don't need. For example, there's images. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete them because I definitely don't think I will need them going into the new year, and if I do, I can find it again. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so that's 2021's folder. Some things like little softwares that I know that I will use into the coming year, especially for work and some uni assignments as well, I think are very important for me to keep. Alright, so going more into the applications that I have, there doesn't seem to be anything that I'm really not needing. I think majority of these come with the computer as well, so it's not like I can really get rid of them. So I'm not really going to get rid of anything. There are some things, for example, that, especially uni assignments, that I really would like to get rid of and have no need for them anymore, and they're just taking up space. So for the new year, I probably will get rid of them, as sad as that is. Sometimes I don't really want to get rid of some things, but you gotta do it. I can't keep everything that I have on here. I mean, look at this, for example. Like, look at how many downloads that I've had since the last time that I've had this computer, and I think it's been about a year and a half. So I'm really not needing some of these now, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of them. And going to just, get rid of some of these, and I will get back to you when I am done sorting through this, because it is going to be a long process.
So after looking at some ways to lay out my computer for the year and just sort of set things up, I found a really nice way that I was watching of this YouTuber who was talking about the tags that come on Mac. And because I have a Mac, it made it really easy. So the tags that I have, like there are, I think the colors, the blue, the green, the gray, I use it for different things. For example, the red for me I know is work, and I set that up on calendars, on everything, so I know that red for me is work, and I know that's what the area that I need to look at. For green that I've set is for university work, and that's also goes on my calendars as well, so the different things come up. Purple I'm setting for personal, so I've always set it up on my calendar, but be able to set that onto my computer as to what files are necessary, I think is going to help start the year strong and start it really organized and just set things up really well for when I need them. And that's sort of what I've done for the year. And trust me, I've looked at so many different YouTube videos, TikTok videos, Instagram, different ways to get organized, and that's one way that I think really, really helps. Just as for me, I love to be able to set things separate and to have a separate area for things. I would love to have 2 laptops, ideally, one for work and one for the rest of my life. However, that's not an efficient way of doing it. Plus, it's not a realistic way. So be able to set tags, I think, is going to really separate my work from my home and from the different areas. So I think that's the best way that I can approach the new year. So it's what I've decided to set it up as. So after going through a few things and just deleting a lot of stuff from my computer and just putting things in categories, as I showed you, I've started looking into and building my Notion for the year. So my 2023 is basically a whole setup, so different to how I had it last year, and it's really now focused on my life and how I plan to go through my day-to-day, plan on listing things out. As you can see, I've deleted things from here just to show you. But so I have a lot of things when it comes to my being creative areas, such as reading lists, journals, notebooks, my planning, so my budget, The calendar, meal prep as well is another thing that I really wanted to focus on this year and have a space to do that. Growth, so I've done my goals, little habit trackers, and just the whole, I love to call it life aesthetic because it's just the whole idea of how I want my life to go, and it motivates me somehow. I can't explain it, but it really does. So when it comes to the work area, it's a lot of different things. So it includes the work links that I might need, the logins, or anything that I can have at a touch of a button or a click of a hand. Uni, so when uni starts back up again, I'll have the schedule a little bit more, so I'll be able to use that. And that's just what my week to week would look like in the days that I am working or doing something, whether it's class. So it's just, that will stay as it is and that won't move. I love to have these little images of inspiration as to what I plan to achieve at the end of the year as well, or towards the end of the year. So yeah, I really love having that along. Gonna be honest, I didn't make this myself. I didn't make the template. I bought the template and was able to sort of edit it to how I wanted it to go. I do suggest buying templates or finding a free one. Building it yourself takes forever and you get kind of bored towards the end, that I found at least. If you love doing things yourself, then yeah, definitely go through this. But I basically took what I did last year, which was very much very similar to what I had it, how I do it now, but just a little bit of things that are a little bit more laid out so I can see it at the touch of a hand instead of having it all in different links that I might need. So it's all just there if I need it. I'm able to sort of see everything at a glance. I think that's what I'm trying to say, and that's what's really important to me because I'm really lazy, so I need to be able to see things very quickly and just know that things are coming so I know what to be prepared for. And that's basically how I've set up my Notion for the year. When it comes to the bottom sides, like the tabs that I have open, I really like to keep it very simple. I don't like to have things that I'm not going to be using constantly. For example, I have all the things like Safari I use for work mainly, and when it comes to notes that I might need reminders, that's something quick. Spotify I use constantly. But yeah, it's just having that availability and making it as easy as possible, because I've realized over the years that when I get stressed or when I'm able to not focus on anything very well, I tend to just shut down. So seeing what I need to get done at a quick glance is really important for me. Yeah, so I really like to have this kind of setup, and I really like it a lot more than I did last year, especially because I think the green makes it so much nicer. So yeah, that's how I really like to set it up, and that's how I set up my Notion for 2023. I hope that I get to use this layout. I hope that I get to find it useful and that I'm able to make the most of it, because it is really important to me to be able to set the schedule and set the itinerary and make sure that I have everything. I make sure that I have everything under control, make sure that I know what's going on, because when I get stressed, I tend to get a little bit behind, and it's very obvious to me when I do. So having that ease, or everything very easily found, is something that I really love about Notion especially. I think the only downside that I found to Notion is that it can't connect, or at least the free version that I have, it can't connect to other apps. So for example, if you want your calendar like iCal or Google Calendar, it doesn't connect to Notion. So that's the thing that actually really just annoys me, and I can't ever understand why they don't do that, but for at least the free version, that's what I've seen. So going into 2023, I really aim as being as productive and as motivated as I possibly can. There will be a lot of new things that I'm going to be facing this year that I haven't faced in other years. A lot of growing up. I mean, I'm almost 25, so that's that's a huge thing for me, and it's a huge thing for anyone. So having that kind of understanding of what I can and can't do when it comes to the digital use, and I have really liked this challenge to sort of try to limit my digital use and my footprint as well. It was really difficult, especially towards the end of the year when I'm still working and I haven't really taken time off, other than a couple of weeks ago that I was able to take some time. But now, coming into the new year, I really want to be able to do things a little bit differently and just sort of take a little bit more time on planning things out than I would last year. And growing up is really difficult, especially in this day and age when you're having to work but also dealing with the whole social scene and social life. So trying to find that balance is going to be really difficult. But I have faith in us, I have faith in me, I have faith in you guys to be able to find your way around the world and your space in it. It's gonna be a journey this year because a lot of things are more available to us than they were a couple years ago. So yeah, go out and enjoy the world. Go and try to find something else other than sitting at home on social media, because we can actually explore the world now. So definitely go out and try that and go out and see different ways that you can go and see the world. Don't be like her, where she spends so much time sitting at home. But go out and see different things and spend more time seeing greenery and going to see the grass, like you can see on my screen in my glasses, rather than looking at screens. So yeah, I really hope you guys have enjoyed this series. I have really enjoyed it. It's been really difficult, and I think I've cried about twice doing it, but yeah, I really recommend you guys trying it out and also finding different ways that you can spend your time, but also the different ways that you have already used social media and just adapting to that. Looking at your digital use, looking at the data that either your phone or computer has. Go and check that out and see if you can beat yourself each time without it getting lower and lower. I tried that and it was fun, so definitely go and give yourself that challenge. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have an amazing start to 2023. So thank you guys. This is Dina signing off. Bye.